Hey, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jerome Wood. Here representing my mother and father, Elder Pastor James Wood, First Lady Lisa Wood, Golden Harvest Community Church out of North Vernon, Indiana. Appreciate you guys for joining us today. This is our third Young Men's Buzz Hour. So every month we will be coming to you with the Buzz Hour. Today I have two new guests with us. I have best friend John Sims, other best friend Albie Reimer. I'll let them introduce themselves, tell you a little bit about themselves, and then we will get into the discussion. John, you can go first, man.
What do you want me to say?
Well, you. How about you?
Well,
Who are you, son?
born and raised here in Columbus, Indiana. Youngest of five. My mother and father are both ministers. My father's a pastor of Calvary Community Church. Grew up in the church. Loved to play sports. Played sports all throughout school. Went to college, Anderson University. Came back home, started teaching, and now I am the athletic director at St. Peter's Lutheran School.
Woo!
It's a new job for me, but I've been teaching for about this is my 6th year teaching. So that's about it, man.
Awesome, man. Woo! Fantastic, John. Albie, tell the people who you are, man.
Name is Albie Reimer. Born and raised in New York, Long Island, New York. Right now, I'm in Indiana, obviously. Because of the military, I'm active duty. Been in the Army for about 10 years now. A little over 10 years. Should be hitting 11 next month, as a matter of fact. Be 11 years.
Yeah.
And pretty much been moving all over the place. Hawaii, Georgia, Louisiana, everywhere. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to go too far in depth.
Too far into your life.
Yeah.
Don't tell people too much.
Too
I don't
much.
know y'all like that.
I'm a great guy.
No, so like I said, I'm Jerome Wood. That's about it about me. So we're gonna go ahead and get into the discussion. This week's topic, we'll be speaking about perception, how you are perceived and why that is important in life. We're going to go over a few questions that these lovely gentlemen are going to be so gracious by answering these awesome questions. We'll go right into it. So first question, fellas, and we'll start with John on this one. Is perception important to you, and if so, why?
Yes, it is, and I don't know if it really should be. I mean, I don't know. I guess you want to be perceived as, a good person and things like that. But just being a black man,
Yeah.
in predominantly white society and community, always been aware of my perception of how people view me.
Mm-hmm.
Just from regular interactions with people, where I go, time of day, time of night, what I'm wearing, what I have on. So, I mean, yeah, you shouldn't really worry about what people think of you, but, fortunately for me, I haven't had, too crazy situations or anything like that.
Yeah.
But some places, that's life or death. For some places, which we've seen, all over social media and stuff like that. And some people experience that, all the time. But I haven't experienced nothing like where my life was in stake.
Sure.
But still, though, some places I don't go at certain times of night. Or certain times of the day, or if I'm wearing certain things, like, oh, let me switch this up, take this hat off, or different scenarios and things like that. So So I want to come across as, just a regular person.
True.
Sometimes people, see the color of my skin and they think otherwise. So if I'm going to a place where I don't really know a lot of people,
Yeah.
then I'm going to try to dress a certain way. So I'm, don't come across as a criminal or something like that. So perception is something that I think about a lot, on a daily. When I'm comfortable, what I'm saying? Here, I'm comfortable, I'm cool, but going different places.
Depends on the environment.
Depends on who I'm going to be around, and things like that. So what else for a question?
You answered it. I said, is it important and why?
Okay. Yeah, it is important because, again, I don't know how people are going to react
Yep.
to who I am all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Especially going to an unfamiliar environment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Oh, same question you said.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is very important because, like John said, you got to be aware of your environment. Like if you're comfortable, those that are around you, they know you. You can pretty much be relaxing at yourself, which you would want to do all the time. But in certain circumstances, you just can't do that. You would have to almost portray yourself in a different way, so that way those can perceive you as a specific person that they may want to see.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's very straightforward of saying yes. It's very important. Perception is very important, and if you don't have that perception or have that urgency to want to be perceived as who you feel you are, then you pretty much you're not gonna get to where you think you need to go.
I like that. Well, that was good. Good, man. Good job, guys. But no,
I just want to add something.
Go ahead.
Real quick.
It's all you, baby.
Some people are like, it doesn't matter what other people think about you, but it really does. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And I don't think that a lot of people with my pigment of skin have that luxury, majority of the time.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what people think. That's not true. I don't think that applies to everybody. Certain people it might apply to, but I don't think that applies to everybody.
Yeah, I don't think we have that luxury of not caring.
Right.
Because I would have to agree. It's definitely important. I think the stage director said we need to pick up our voices. So we'll talk a little bit louder. Pastor Wood came and let us know the volume needs to be increased a little bit. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Increase.
You gotta get those
Our
headphones.
brain.
Those headphones with the mic. Turn up. Okay.
But no, perception is very important. I feel like that first time meeting someone, how they perceive you, their thoughts, that matters. And it's not just when you're going for a job interview. Like a lot of people, like if I'm going to an important event, if I'm doing this, then I need to. That's the only time I need to care about how I present myself.
Right.
I think it's important every time you step out in the public light, you need to be conscious of how you perceive.
Yeah.
Especially being African American, like you talked about, like going to certain environments and have to take off your hat, or if you got a hood on or a big coat, like. Because I've been to Walmart plenty of times during the wintertime. Like it's cold outside, so of course I got a big coat, but I may not take my stocking cap off, my hood off, and I'll get followed around Walmart. It's one of the things where I need to. How did you perceive me? Did you perceive me as a threat because I was cold?
Man, do y'all ever get like nervous when you have your mask on and you go into public places? Like you go and think like, oh man, he's trying to rob the place.
I wonder what he really looks like.
Is he smiling under that mask? But wear your mask though. We're not telling you not to wear your mask. Everybody wear your mask because COVID is real.
I just wonder if anybody else got like that sometimes. Like, they probably think I'm gonna rob the whole place.
Don't let you have like one of those full faces.
Yeah, I got.
Oh, you got the full.
Yeah, just the eyes. Nah, man, the whole thing. Yeah, I don't go that far.
Some places I'm like, you know what? Let me switch this back out real quick.
Get the
I have-
tutorial.
yeah, it's right here.
Joint.
It's just this. You need to see everything you can.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I just wondered, dog.
That's a good question though. It's a fact. We'll go to the next question. Let's see.
You see it?
Getting in my eyes, man. Get a little blurry.
Right.
Getting
Oh, using the plate.
Oh man, get out of here. So, next question: how does your potential affect your perception? Al, you can tackle that one first.
That's a good question. How does your potential affect your perception? So, I would say your potential is basically.
I like how you raised it.
Yeah. Your potential is basically like you knowing your worth, your value, who you are as a person, how you want to maneuver yourself throughout your life. So you knowing your potential, it can help you understand what it is your perception by others.
Yeah.
So you got if you don't know your if you have your potential and you're locked in, you zone in, and you there's nothing that can affect you because you're on a straight now, you're on a path that is going to give you nothing but success, and you're on that will actually, it'll go into question one, you know, as we were saying about how you have to carry yourself in certain situations. You knowing that potential, you moving throughout that, you will be perceived as someone that is thriving towards a goal or towards an achievement or just completed an achievement. Like it'll be put up in that kind of situation or that realm of perception. But if you don't have that, if you don't know your potential, you don't know your worth or your value, then you're going to be walking around slummed down, head down. You're going into Walmart with the hoodie on. Your body posture is completely lost because you don't know your potential. You don't know your worth. So now you're going to be perceived as that threat.
Yeah.
So that potential is very, very key.
It's key.
It's very key.
Brother John.
Yeah, I agree. I think you gotta know who you are, know your worth. I think being raised how I was raised, it was instilled in me that I was smart, that I could do whatever I wanted to do, that I was athletic, that I was encouraged all the time, and that they still encourage me all the time. But I think that was intentional because they wanted me to always know, who I am, my potential, what I can be, and I've never forgot that. And so I see that a lot of people, especially working with like young people, they don't know, they might not have that home life, didn't grow up with two parents in the home, with love and all that kind of stuff. How I grew up, and I see like in school and academics and athletics, all the way around the board. You don't know who you are, you don't know your potential, then your perception of yourself, it goes down. And then if you don't have a good perception of yourself, then other people won't have a good. It's a lot harder for other people to have a good perception of you. So I think that's very important. Yeah, you got to know your self-worth. You got to know that, and I think it's important to if you got kids or young people around you, I think it's important to instill that into them early.
Motivation.
So they'll always know that whatever situation they get into, or get picked on or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And I got picked on and stuff too, but now it's always like bullying and cyberbullying and all this stuff. Like people talk about me, before, I don't think that's anything new, but I think what has changed is that support system that kids, a lot of young people don't have, and so they don't So yeah.
I think you guys nailed that one, knocked that apart.
What do you think about that,
Yeah.
Mr. Councilman?
Basically what you guys said. I think you guys pretty much wrapped that question up. Pretty terrific. But no, only thing I will add on, I think that is, not to kind of take it, the conversation in this direction, but I feel like that's a pitfall in a lot of the black communities. I feel like that's why, you know, a lot of black communities are the way they are. A lot of these young men aren't being shown how to, aren't being taught, you know, that they have the potential, or being taught how to find their potential. So therefore, like you said, if you don't know your potential, you don't know your worth, you don't know who you are, what you're capable of, so therefore you don't hold yourself to that level. And that's why you dress the way you do, or you don't care about how someone perceives you. But then it sucks because a lot of the times they're just not educated on that. Like, they don't know. So they don't know how important it is to hold yourself in a certain way.
Yeah.
And it's not just, and I want to say this, it's not just how you dress, but it's how you walk. How you, if you walk with your head down, do you look, do you make eye contact, do you speak to people? All that stuff is important. Like, I was always taught when I grew up, like when I walk around the stores, I don't never just walk around with my head down. I make eye contact, or at least I try to. It's kind of weird sometimes because people tend to avoid eye contact with me for whatever reason. You know, we're not going to point out why. But a lot of times I'll make eye contact, and you know, it'll get thrown off. But it's, I don't want you to perceive me as somebody who's not confident. I'm very confident. I'm not ashamed of who I am. So I want to look you in the eye. I want to say hi. I'm not a threat. I have tattoos. I'm not thug. You know, because a lot of the times, based off of this, you'll see me and be like, "Oh, that guy's up to no good." Little do you know, I'm the councilman, right? Just, you know, point that out. Anyway, next question. What are you, like I tried to slip out of there? That was slick. Boy, it was.
You know the crazy thing is that, and when you brought up the tattoos, I was afraid that the viewers was going to perceive me
So you wear long
as
sleeves.
that's why I have long sleeves.
Because it's hot outside.
I'm sleeved up. Luckily, this is a great shirt, very thin, but I am covered in tattoos everywhere. So, but if I would have had it out, then I would have thought you to perceive me as, well, he got too many tattoos. Let's just go ahead.
I came out, you know. I said, y'all go see me. And I got socks on. It's crazy. So the next question. Do you believe your perception is always accurate?
No.
John. Why? You thought it was going to get away with it. No.
I was going to probably if you was done, I was no.
No, I agree. I thought.
No, you know, not always.
Yeah.
You know, man, you know, it's like we've been saying before. You know, so many people that just you see us, our skin color, and they automatically think, oh, he's a thug, he's a criminal, he's a threat, up to no good, uneducated. You know, so yeah. I mean, you know, I don't feel like I always am perceived accurately all the time, and that's not just by white people. It could be also by black people. It could be by anybody. Really.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of times we do that to ourselves a lot too.
That's important. Point out. Very important.
So yeah.
No, sure. No.
No.
It's
not.
People couldn't hear you.
No.
No.
It's never accurate. So let me ask you this: how do you build your perception?
As far as build my perception to others.
Yeah. How do you create a perception through experience, right?
Yeah.
Through interactions or visually, whatever. Just through experience, through time. You've created a perception through time. So during that time, all those perceptions that you've created, how one thing should be or how someone should be, all of those were created through faults, errors, neglects, sometimes probably positive, or it was created by little pieces of time that created one specific thing.
True.
So what I'm getting at is that in that time of you creating this perception, you've added loopholes. So you added things that shouldn't even be in there, perception that shouldn't even be in there, or you see me with tattoos, or you automatically thinking this perception because you just seen on TV of this perception of someone with tattoos. Yeah. You're mixing and matching because that's how you've trained yourself to perceive someone. So with that kind of thought process of building your perception into one specific piece of structure or whatever, it's not going to be accurate. It's never going to be accurate.
I think, and I feel like that's just, if America could understand that, we'd be in a totally different. Because I feel like that's the situation, like, and I don't like to touch on, because we talk about it, it's in the media every day, between the cops and African Americans, however you want to say it, but I feel like perception plays a huge role in that.
Yeah.
It's all about how you perceive one another. It's how African Americans perceive cops and how cops perceive African Americans. If you walk into a car in a situation and you don't have that perception of all blacks are thugs and all blacks are criminals, then you're going to handle that situation totally different. Your mentality, the way you approach the car, the way you handle that, the way you talk, it's going to be totally different because you don't perceive that human being as a thug. But then it's also the same way for black people to cops. You can't perceive all cops as all cops is just killing all the black people. All they just want to help us out, because not all cops are like that.
Yeah.
But it's like you said, it's what you see, and I feel like media plays a huge role because they are the media. The media is always going to try to control the narrative to make sure that your perception is aligned with what they want you to align with.
Yeah.
So it's I think it's huge on our huge point would be to make sure that you're not allowing someone else or the media or friends to control your perception of how you perceive others. You have to do that on your own. You have to take the time to have that interaction if you need to, so then you have your own perception.
Exactly. You know, what's the name? Medea, the funeral movie.
Yeah.
When they had when Brian was driving them to the house, and they had Medea told him, "Step on, you're going too slow." And they were speeding, swerving. The cop pulled him over. As soon as the cop walked up, he started, don't move, and start freaking out. As soon as he took his car, took his ID, went to the back, came back. Yeah. Oh, you have yourself a nice day, sir. Yeah. And then what's the day say? I think he ran your day, Brian. He found out that you was a lawyer. He got shaken back. But that's that.
But that's real.
That perception.
Yeah, that's real. Because you, in that moment, he didn't even allow himself to think anything other than black guy. Boom. And then he runs and he's like, oh, this guy's an educated lawyer. Exactly. I messed up. Here you go. See you later.
I'm sorry, sir.
But I feel like that's huge, man. So I agree with you guys. I feel like it's never going to be correct. It's tough. Go ahead.
But, you said, what Albie said is like, majority of our perceptions are based off of our experiences. And so if you change your experiences, so maybe if you start hanging out with people who look differently from you, you go out to eat with them. You know what I'm saying? You go out to eat with them, you interact with them, you talk with them, you speak with them. That will help change your perceptions. You know what I'm saying? I think myself, growing up here in Columbus, growing up around white people all the time, you know what I'm saying? I don't automatically think that every white person is racist, whereas maybe someone that looks like me doesn't grow up with a lot of white people. It's like, oh man, who's racist white people? You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? I think that I am a little, I don't know, growing up here is different, you know what I'm saying?
It puts you in a different light, man.
Yeah.
Because you get, it's not, I don't want to say I get used to it, but I get comfortable. Like it's not for a lot of my friends, like when I went to college, I was excited to go to Indiana State just because I grew up here, and it was like, it's me and maybe one other black person in the class. But I knew I went to Indiana State, like, man, they call that the HBCU of Indiana. So everybody, so I was like, man, I'll be around black people all the time. Yeah. But when I first got there, it was crazy because I'm thinking I'm about to be perceived as, oh yeah, that's the guy. No, I'm perceived as, oh, that's Uncle Tom. That's the white boy. You ain't really black. And it's kind of like,
because you were from Columbus?
Because I was Columbus, the way I talked, the way I dressed. I didn't, like,
you educated?
I still don't own a pair of Jordans. Like, that was never me. Like, I just didn't do it. But because of that, it was, they perceived me. And so John touched on earlier, like, it's not just how white people perceive black people or black, we do it within our own community, within our own, oh man, it's crazy. Yeah. But, oh man, woo.
But yeah, so you change your experiences, your
That's good,
interactions and stuff that help you with your perception.
You got to get comfortable with being
Exactly.
uncomfortable.
Mm.
Watch out, drop the nugget. Pick that up.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
look,
good.
look at that. Look
I
at
think
that.
you wrote that down somewhere.
I didn't write it down. That boy good.
You told me about that one day before.
I say it everywhere. I say it all the time. I'm
You
trying to take
talk
credit
about
for it.
that.
Somebody's gonna put me down for a book or something.
But I remember that not too long ago, because I was a little uncomfortable. I was like, you know what, I gotta get comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
The
that's what-
councilman told me.
I'm telling you, when you become to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, that's where growth occurs.
Yeah.
I'm dropping. Oh my God.
That's good.
And the moment you do get comfortable, deja vu. That's crazy. But the moment you do get comfortable,
Yeah.
you might want to change up your platform
That's
to
true.
get back to uncomfortable.
Always change. Change is
Oh,
good.
changes is fuel for the soul.
And so is
Good.
these little chips.
Yeah.
So the next question. This is good, man. Y'all ain't had these? Y'all ain't hungry?
I get something in a minute.
Yeah, it makes your mouth kind of a little tough. All right, next one. What are some of the pitfalls? And we kind of touched on this with a few other questions, but we'll still hit it. What are some of the pitfalls regarding our perception?
Well,
I'll let Albie tackle that one first.
I would say that the pitfalls regarding our perception is that you can possibly misjudge someone, and you misjudging someone can cost you a plethora of things. Your career, your job, your friends. Put that one in my pocket. I was gonna save one of them for later. But it can affect a lot of things. That is definitely a pitfall of perception, is that you can harm your path. You can change your path in a split second because you perceive your possible business partner or your possible boss as someone who is, you just look at him like, oh no, look, this is a dirty person. Oh man, I ain't even gonna do nothing with them. Look at them, but you don't even know that they own the whole entire thing, or they have been looking for someone like you to help them and stuff like that. I know exactly what you're talking about. Undercover boss. Yep.
Yeah.
You never know. You never know. Because of your perception, you just ruin something, possibly. And for that is the pitfall.
That's good, John.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people say you don't judge a book by its cover, and I think that's true. And I would agree with everything that Albie said. But and then sometimes, you do that though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly who told me this, but you never get a second chance to make a first impression.
Nugget.
I think Coach Gaddis told me that. So, man, I still call him Coach.
Coach Gaddis, can't call him.
It's weird calling him first name.
Next I see him, what's up, Bob? Oh, shit.
I mean, one time, I first started coaching, and I always called him Coach, Coach. And then Coach Vogel,
Yeah.
I still call him Coach, but he was like, call him Bob. I was like, nah, man. He was like, good. You scared? You scared?
Don't worry about it.
I ain't scared.
I call everybody first name, man. When I see the mayor, what's up, Jim? It's cool, man. Go to Mr. Harris, call him Charles, Chuck. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah. I'm old now. I'm old. 30. We all adults. Ain't no first name. You know, mister.
I'll be calling him Mister.
But go ahead, man. I'll take you
Anyway,
off track.
I don't even know what I was saying. Never get a second chance to make a first impression.
Yeah.
So I mean, you don't want to judge a book by its cover. You should probably always live by that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, sometimes though, that could be life or death, depending on what you're doing. And everybody's always on police and cops, you know what I'm saying, all the time, but you know, they only got seconds to deal with certain situations and stuff. So their perception of the situation, you know what I'm saying, they gotta automatically do stuff. I mean, that's a tough job, something that I don't want to do at all.
Period. No. Don't stop me up.
No, I don't want to ever have to do anything like that. So, I mean, it's like a thin line, you know. It could ruin you, and then it can also help you, you know. So it's just tough. It's tough. I think definitely, like saying earlier, your interactions with people and stuff that can help you shape your perception, I think, more accurately of when you're just dealing with just people in general.
True.
Yeah.
No, I like what both of you guys said, man. I feel like the combination of what you said and what you said, if you put it together, it's a beautiful answer. I really do. So therefore, I really don't think I should speak on this one.
The last one.
I spoke on the last one.
Okay.
I did, because that was the, if your perception was accurate.
Yeah.
It's not your fault. Very brief. And sometimes you got to keep it short. Just moderate. Keep it
I'm
going.
sorry, what was that, sir?
Anyway, so you got to turn it up. Stay. Is that a little treble?
Yeah.
Pastor Wood, did you? We're good? All right, thanks. All right, thank you. Gotta love Pastor Wood. He's great. That's great. Next question. How do you deal with how you are perceived by others? How do you handle that? John.
You know, sometimes I enjoy like seeing people's facial reactions and stuff, like, oh, you're not a thug. You're educated. Wow. You know, sometimes
Oh, Jesus.
so like, you know, sometimes I like that. I like doing stuff like that. Yeah. And then sometimes it's like annoying.
Oh,
like,
yeah. Again.
yeah, like, dang, this is it all the time. No, it's kind of funny, like getting pizza delivered or something to the house. Open the door, they're like, "Oh, what's up?" I wasn't expecting you to be here. You know, I opened the door one time. This dude, pizza man, was like, "Ah, man, you got a nice house. Yeah. This is nice." I was like, "Hey, you think so, man?" He's like, "Yeah."
I was shocked to see you over there.
Right. You guys just move in here? Like, I haven't seen you guys
Do
around
you
here
need help
before.
cleaning, sir? Are you the cleaner?
So,
Here by yourself?
so sometimes it's funny to me to, I get a rise out of seeing people's reactions sometimes.
You have to.
And then sometimes it makes you angry. I mean, I guess it depends on the situation. You know, sometimes it's funny. Sometimes it's like, man, this dude. Yeah. So yeah, what was the question?
No, you answered. It was like, how do you deal with how others perceive you?
Yeah. So sometimes you gotta put people into place. Sometimes too.
Oh yeah.
With with love and all that. Sometimes.
Jesus.
So, but I think from going crazy though,
Yeah.
and just letting it get to you all the time, I think I just think it's funny sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm thinking, so I think that's how I deal with it sometimes.
Just don't care.
Mr. Ron.
Just don't care. No, so like John touched on it, and I think it was like the second question. He was saying that if you surround yourself by certain people, then change your experiences, then your perception will also that's viewed upon you would also change. And I say that to say, if you are on that path and you are thriving towards an achievement, towards a goal, you have a purpose. If you have a purpose, then what others is perceiving of you is not going to be an issue. It's not going to be something that's on your mind, because you know who you are. You staying dear to yourself, dear and true to yourself. So you're not gonna sit there and worry about how other people are looking at you, because now the moment you do that, you just wasted time. Literally, you just wasted valuable time that you could have used that same energy that what you thinking of somebody else thinking of you. You could have used that and put that towards your goal, or towards a mission, towards something other than what somebody else is thinking of you. Carry yourself in the right way. Do what you got to do. Handle your business, and surround yourself by those, like what they say. If you want to become a millionaire, you surround yourself with millionaires.
Yep.
Proximity.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So the moment you start living like that, thinking like that, then that perception key of what others think of you is not going to matter. In the beginning, of course, it's going to matter because you're trying to find something. But once you're there, it's not going to matter.
Like it. I'll jump in
What
this
do you
one as
think?
well. What do I think? Well, but no, I feel like John touched on kind of the answer the route I would have taken on this one. You know what I mean? I like to put people in a position to make it uncomfortable. So a lot of times I'll have meetings at lunch, and I'll do it on purpose. I'll go home and I'll put on shorts like I have on today, a t-shirt and a wave cap, and I'll go to the meeting
With the back out?
No flat pants. That's ghetto. That's ghetto. That's ghetto. That's ghetto. That's ghetto, bro. Yeah, that'd be too much.
Oh, I do that too sometimes, man.
And it's hilarious because like the guy that I may be meeting for lunch won't really, he may be like, oh, what's up? It's cool.
Yeah.
But it's crazy because I'll see people around town that won't speak to me because of that. And it's not that I've changed, nothing about like who I am. I'm still Jerome.
Yeah.
But it's because of it's kind of like, oh man, and it's happened. I've had people look at me kind of like,
Yeah.
and my buddy be like, they know you? I'm like, yeah, they know me. They're in the meeting with me all the time. Like, when they speak to me, I'm like, wave
It
cap.
just look like right
Yeah.
over you.
Wave cap.
Exactly.
And but I do it a lot. Like when I go to, when I was running for city council, like it was always in my mind. I was always thinking like, man, when I go to these meetings, should I wear a long sleeve shirt? I didn't really think about it too long. It was always no. I'm like, no, I'm going in a t-shirt. Like, but you can see when you hit a room, I'm already gonna turn your head because I'm always generally the only black person in the room. I get that. But then when you look at it, it's like he's the only black person, and he's got tattoos. God, like. But then it's cool because you can see the switch in the room once they hear me talk. Then like, oh, and you literally
hear the furniture
literally can see it. It's one of these. They're sitting there. They're sitting up because they want to hear what you got to say.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, let me hear this. Then when you talk, it's this man knows what he's talking about. But I love to go that route.
Yeah.
It does frustrate me in time, like John said. It does. At some points, it gets annoying. Like if I'm not purposely trying to see, trying to test you on that, and it still happens, it's like, all right, bro, like I'm at Walmart, or I just left the gym. That's like I have a cutoff on, yeah, and it's like, oh, I can't believe he's dressed like that. So it is what it is. Sometimes it gets annoying, but I deal with it. Let's see. This is this question right here was just brought in by First Lady Lisa Wood. So this is hot off the press. So this is like a complicated question. So I'm gonna read it twice if you need me to. When it comes to measuring up and wanting to be accepted, does it or should it interfere with our perception? So I'll read it again. When she told me the question, I was kind of bewildered. When it comes to measuring up and wanting to be accepted by others, does it or should it interfere with our perception? While you guys think, I'm gonna grab me a pretzel.
How about you?
I don't eat my mouth full.
Wanting to measure up.
Yep, it's a good question, fellas. Good question. First Lady did her thing on that question.
I feel it it would interfere with your perception.
Okay. Explain. Tell us.
Because you're wanting to be.
Hello?
Sorry.
Pastor,
I was still thinking.
Thank you, Pastor. Thank you.
It would interfere with your perception. If you're trying to be accepted by others, you're going to want to know what they're thinking about you, how they're looking at you. You know, what is it that you're doing that can possibly allow them to accept you? So, I feel if you try to be accepted by someone, your perception is going to be through the roof. Your care for perception is going to be through the roof.
Yeah.
You're going to be wondering so much. Especially like for instance, you want to go into a job interview and you want to be accepted, right?
Yeah.
And your perception of how that other person that's on the other side of the table is thinking of you is going to be pondering your mind, even when you walk in, from the moment you walk in to the moment you leave, and when you go home, until you get the call.
Yeah.
It's still going to be bugging you. Like, did I do that good? Was I right? Like, did I wear the right clothes? Did I do that? Was my resume good? Was this good? Was that good? You're going to be wondering so many things, how this individual perceived you. And that's probably the most toxic, is when you're wanting to be accepted by someone else, is when your perception will become very toxic.
Because at that point, you're not even yourself.
Exactly.
You're now becoming the person someone else. Not even what they want.
Exactly.
What you think they want you to be.
Exactly.
Because they're not even going to tell you. So
Exactly.
you're out here fishing to become someone that nobody wants you to become. And you
And you're not even letting your accomplishments speak for itself. You're not letting you be accepted by them. You're allowing them to accept what you think that they like.
Oh, it's crazy.
What?
It's a game. You're playing a mind game. It's
That's
like
a
I
big
need
mind
to change
game.
who I am based off what I think they want me to be without
Exactly.
knowing what they want me to be. So now it's like you done guessed. They came in, so when they look at you like this, it's like, I guess wrong. You know?
Unacceptable.
So would you say, so then would you say in that situation, like let's say you are going to a job interview or say you are trying to be accepted by someone, which I'm not really big on being accepted by people. Like that's not high on my, like I have to be me. And you're going to either accept me or you're not. But do you feel that is it important to take that into consideration, or is it important to always be you? So, like, I'm going to a job interview. So, like, if I go to a job interview, I'm gonna be prepared, like, as far as interview questions, things of that nature. But as far as how they perceive me, like, I don't ever take. I try not to be like, this is how they probably want me to dress. This is why, like, I'm not the suit and tie guy for an interview. Because I feel like that's not me.
You ain't gonna show up in a t-shirt and shorts on.
No, I may show up with a polo.
Okay.
That has my arm down, but
Okay.
but I'm saying this. So
Okay.
do you take that? Do you take that into consideration? Do you take that perception into consideration with?
I feel like that's like a yes or no. Mainly no, because
But it has to be yes too.
yeah, for the interview, yes, it would be. It will play. But like in the beginning, if you like sitting there, you know what you have to wear for the job duty entails a specific attire, right? So if you're not the suit and tie dude, maybe one day you're gonna go into a job where you're gonna have to have that suit and tie in that closet.
Yeah.
So the moment you put that on, you're gonna be wondering, all right, make sure I'm straight, I'm good to go. All right, there we go. All right, good. Yeah. Let me hit the sit real quick. All right, there we go. I'm straight. Check these brakes in the pants. I'm making sure that you're good. Making sure that you are presentable for that occasion. But the moment you get in there, oh yeah, that's when like you could be as prepared as you want. But the moment you allow that perception to kick in, of wondering how this other person is thinking of me, the moment that kicks in, it's just gonna keep going. It's gonna run like wildfire.
So I feel like it's a hard question, but John, answer
It is a hard question.
I was gonna say, like, if I'm going to a job interview, which I had to do very recently, I wanted them to perceive me as professional.
Sure.
So I wore, nice pants, a nice, what did I wear? A button-down shirt, button-down or button-up? Which one?
Button down.
Button-down?
Button down.
Button-down or button-up?
I button down. I don't know who called it a button up.
Button-up shirt.
Cause maybe like a polo. The polo, 3 buttons. You button that up.
I think I say both.
Yeah. Button up and button down.
I said button down, bro.
I think I
Button
said
up
both.
doesn't make any sense.
Sometimes I button up though.
I say dress shirt.
I guess I always button up because when you put on the shirt and the tie, you never button the top one
Yeah,
first. So you
you
always
start
have to
the second
button up.
Exactly.
So it's a button down and up.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
See?
Just figured that out. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
me too. Me
You
too.
did, so I don't know what I go to the store to ask for anymore. Getting a button up down, they're like,
Can I
what?
get a double button up,
What is it called though? Like,
double direction
dress
button?
shirt.
dress shirt?
Dress
shirt.
Like when you go to the store to buy, like, what does it say? Like on it? I
Dress
think
shirt.
it's polo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll say a dress shirt.
Dress shirt.
Dress shirt.
Business shirt.
But there's a difference between a dress, like one of them shirts you wear with the tie,
Yeah.
than just
Regular.
You just leave the
Yeah.
top button up.
Because them have that extra button up there.
They be breaking them down into like settings. You got your dinner attire, you got your lunch attire.
Oh, it's nuts.
This is
Slim fit.
right.
Regular.
Right. Man, before I came here, I knew I was gaining some weight, man. I put on my slacks. Man,
Relax fit.
I put them slacks on. It's supposed to be a slim fit. And it was not nice and soft and comfortable. I put the bad boys on. I said immediately,
They're not going to perceive you the right way. These tight pants.
Not just that. These pants, if I sit down with these pants on, let me do one of these. Right? Oh, you ain't.
It's over.
But no, go ahead, John. You was.
So, I think we talked about it earlier. Our potential, we want to be perceived as our potential. I think that's what we said.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't think you should be trying to be accepted by. I don't. It sounds bad. Like, yeah, you want to get along with people. and
I
stuff.
just feel like that shouldn't be.
Like you're constantly trying to measure. Like what is it? You constantly trying to fit in, measure up with people.
I feel like that should be your goal. Like that
Yeah.
shouldn't be like I perceive myself this way in order to be accepted by. Like that can't be your why. Like why are you dressing like that to be accepted by you? Like
Yeah.
that can't be it. It's got to be I'm doing this because this is who I am, and I hope to be accepted by you. Like if not, then it is what it is. But I feel like that can't be because I mean the job interview is a hard one, but it's like. But it's anything in life. Let's say you're going to a sporting event. Even though it's out, it can be anywhere, but you're still going to be like, I'm not going to wear this because, like, I'm not going to go with a dirty shirt on because I don't want people to look at me like, man, that man's not clean. Or, man, I got this. I'm just that's just me. Like, my wife always gets on me because I always iron my clothes. But it can be perceived that I'm only doing that because I want people to think that I'm clean. Kept like I take yeah, but for me it's me. I hate wrinkles, so like I ironed this shirt like it's a t-shirt, but I still ironed it because it's like. But someone may say, "Jerome, you just care about what other people think about you." No, I hate wrinkles.
I got a story for you. So of wanting to be accepted, where it was really like I literally hit this scenario. This was 2012, I believe, 2011. I was going for my 2012 to about 2011. I was going for my promotion board, and on the board it's a panel of 7 individuals, right? 7 individuals sitting on a table, trying to paint the picture here. You're walking into a room. There are 7 people on a table, long table. There's a recorder on this corner, and then there's your supervisor in the other corner. So as soon as you walk in, you present yourself to the president of the board, and you salute them. They salute back, drop your salute. They tell you either do facial movements or sit down. Me being at that time frame, I was very, I was feeling myself. I was in my zone. Like I didn't care who you was. I know I'm the best operator and heavy equipment operator. I'm the best operator. I don't care. I'm the best supervisor. I'm good at my job. I know what I'm doing. I don't need to study. I don't need to do nothing, man. I'm good. Just let me show up and I'm straight. And so I went in there. They started asking me questions. I didn't know the nit and gritty. I just knew the top two because they give you a whole packet to study.
Yeah.
I just knew the first and second question of all of the subjects. So it's about like 20-something subjects. But once they start, like I said, once they start asking me the questions, I didn't know them. I didn't know the answers. And then I immediately got kicked out of the board. It was like, nah, you're good. You can come back next month.
Dang.
So I'm like, reality check. Boom. So now I go back to the drawing board. I start studying. I start getting serious with it. And I go back. I realign my uniform because we have to wear the dress uniform. So I'm realigning that. I take that with pride and make sure everything's straight, everything in its right place. I go back in there and same 7 pounds. And
That's what I said. What's he doing?
I was trying to throw it off.
But it was the same 7 panel, and the moment they start asking me questions, I was so worried about how they were perceiving my knowledge now.
Yeah.
And I wanted them to accept me because like I know what you're talking about. I know this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, the moment I start thinking about how they perceive me, I lost track of what it is that was going on because I wanted to be accepted by them so bad. Because I bombed the first one.
Yeah.
That was my fault. I bombed because I didn't even study. I didn't do nothing. That was my fault.
Yeah.
But now I come in the second time. Now I want them to see and accept me for not only my knowledge base that I've grown, but for who I am. And I started perceiving myself as an idiot. I was like, well, what are you doing? Like you're losing yourself right now. What is going on right now?
Is it a bad thing to want to be accepted by this board of board of directors?
So I don't think it is, but it wasn't the fact that I was fighting myself to be accepted all the time. And the moment I found myself like drifting, going down, because like I said, there's 7 people and they're like really far away. Not really far away. They're probably about like 5 steps away from me. And when you're looking at them, it's like they had to teach me a trick. Look over there. Look at over their head, and it'll look like you looking right in their eyes.
Yeah.
So I lost it. I started looking down. I went to the eyes, and it was just tunnel vision. And I'm just like locking in, and I'm not remembering stuff. And then I remember my supervisor told me. He said, so around. He said, listen. He said, do they have boots on? I was like, yeah. He's like, do you think they have socks on? I was like, they better have socks on. They have to have socks on. Regulation. He's like, okay. They got pants on too, right? It's like, yeah. They got a belt on, they got a t-shirt, they got a jacket, they got ribbons, they got a hat. I was like, yeah. So they put all that stuff on, right? I was like, yeah.
Bad thing to want to be accepted.
Right.
But,
no, it's not.
But I think what you're saying, if that's all you're focused on, then you lose who you are and what you're trying to do.
Yeah. You still got to stay true to yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
You still good, stage director? All right, thanks, Pastor Wood. Thank you, Pastor Wood. So we're gonna get ready to wrap up. We got about what'd you say? 5. He's giving me the 5. He's giving me the 5. Thank you, Elder. Before we do the whole ball, he said, well, since we wrap it up, let's go get to these snacks. So, First Lady Lisa Wood wanted me to read this before ending the show, because we always want to make sure that we do touch on, God and everything that we do. Because of course, we know that He's the most important.
It's over, bro.
Is it the wall?
Broadcast interrupted.
Is it gone?
Oh, it's still going. Here we go.
I'm back.
Back up.
I'm back. I'm back. They will try to stop us. Not today. Ain't that what you say, Pastor? Not today. But where I left off, He doesn't assume anything. I believe that we should see ourselves the way God sees us. God sees us in a different way than we see ourselves. God sees greatness, purpose, and potential. Just a little feedback from you guys on what I just read, and then that's how we'll wrap up. How do you feel about what First Lady Lisa wrote for us? Either of you guys want to tackle that?
to me is very deep.
I think it's accurate.
Very accurate.
I think I certainly don't think that I have arrived or anything like that. But it's only stop eating so much. I certainly don't think that I have arrived or anything like that. But I do think that the successes that I've had in my life is definitely only because of God. And I do believe that being taught, like I said earlier, getting that instilled in me that that I'm intelligent, that I can do anything that I want to do, that I'm strong, that I can be courageous, that I'm God's child, that He's with me wherever I go. So I've definitely held on to that, and I believe that that's helped me every day, honestly. Not just with my successes, but I believe that it's helped me, and that's who I am. I'm a child of God, and I think that's the most important thing. And if I ever lost track of that, I don't think I'd be where I am today. Have my wonderful family that I do now. Have this new job that I just got, new career. So
I can't hear you, man.
I don't think I would have my wonderful family that I have now. So I do believe that that's accurate.
Mr. Ryan.
That's very accurate. Only thing I'll say is you can't do it by yourself. If you got something going on and you're trying to get through it, you can't do it on your own.
Yeah.
And that's what He's there for, to guide you, to motivate you, to push you. As you said, He's not fake. It's not fake. And for those reasons, you have to stay true to not only Him, but true to yourself. And with that, I'll leave you with this quote before you hit the rest of it.
Yes.
Don't do tomorrow what you did today, or else you're going to get tomorrow what you got today.
That's good. Nugget, what? So I'll wrap up. I'll give my 2 cents on the ending. Are we still on that? All right, thanks, Pastor Wood. All right now, great man of God, anointed. So back to what my mom said. I feel like it's extremely accurate, and it's also awesome because like God sees you for who you are, so He knows your faults. He knows your thoughts. He knows everything that's going on, right? So the fact that He can still see through that, see the greatness, see your purpose, see your potential. That's why I feel like it's important for people to draw closer to God, because if you can get closer to God, you start to think like God. You start to act like God. So it's one of the things where if you can start seeing people the way God sees us, you start to look through these negative things. You start to look through the baggy clothes. You look through the wave capper, and it's not just that, but you look through all that, and you can still see love at the end of the day. So I feel like it is important. I feel like if more people in the world turn to God, we probably wouldn't be in the position we're in, because it changes your outlook totally on life. It changes everything. Yeah. So I think it's extremely accurate. I want to say good job, First Lady Lisa Wood. Great questions. She wrote all of these questions. Yeah, she's a very gifted, anointed woman of God. I know you can hear me because you're watching in the room. So appreciate you. But hey, it is time for us to wrap it on up. Pastor Wood, we thank you for being who you are, our tech man, sound man, video man, and the pastor. He's a bad man. He's smiling right now. You can't see him. I can.
You sound just like
Oh man, I can sing like the two. Y'all want to hear it?
Go ahead.
Though the storm. Not playing. So look, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it on up. Until next month, we'll be back for another Buzz Hour. It'll be me, just 2 different people up here sitting with me, not eating the same snacks, drinking this water. You guys have a blessed day. God loves you. We love you too. Wear your mask. COVID's real.